Hey everybody, this is Ozzie. I love ping pong and Los Angeles table tennis. I wanted to bring you the first inaugural episode of Pong Talk, where we learn about ping pong and life by having a discussion with its members and its community. Today we have the brothers, Sid Naresh and Nandan Naresh. Sid Naresh is a table tennis player at TTC Zugbrück, Grunzau. I don't know if I said that right, but maybe he can correct me in the future. Champion in U15, U17 age groups throughout his whole life. Performed extremely well in the most recent U.S. National Championships. Nandan Naresh, a prodigy in his own right, brother of Sid, younger brother at 16 years old, went through the national team trials, undefeated. Both incredible players, both come from a very loving and ping pong focused family. Wanted to introduce you guys, so let's start with Sid. Sid, how old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Okay, Sid's 19 years old, and for how long have you been playing table tennis?
So I started when I was about 7 years old, so it's already been 12 years.
12 years, that's a long time. I've heard of players in China starting as young as like 4 and 5. The LeBruns have videos of themselves playing at a much younger age as well, so for him to be playing at such a great level is kind of amazing. And what's your paddle setup?
So right now I'm using an all Yola setup. So my blade is the Yola Bizarre's Freeze Hard. It's an orange blade. My rubbers, I use the same on both forehand and backhand. It's called Dynar's ZGR. It's a hard and tacky rubber, similar to some Chinese rubbers, and yeah, I really like them.
Okay, and what made you choose that setup? I know you said hard and tacky, but can you go a little bit further on that?
Yeah, so from Yola's equipment, I chose the blade because it has really good control, but it also has many gears. I feel like when I use power, it really explodes off my paddle. So that allows me to have a lot of power, especially with my forehand loop and counter loop. And with the rubbers, I like the tackiness of it because it helps the ball stay on my rubber a little bit longer, especially when counter looping. So I feel I have good control. And because of the hardness of the sponge, even when I use a lot of power, I feel like the rubber really supports it. Especially because I'm training a lot, I feel that even if the harder rubber, it's less forgiving. But since my technique and my motion, I feel are good, I can use hard rubber and still play consistently. So I really like my setup right now.
Awesome. You mentioned on your forehand. I'm sure your backhand is good too, but I read somewhere that you are a forehand dominant player. Is that correct?
Yeah, so right now I've been playing more forehand. I feel like my forehand's a little bit stronger and more consistent, especially in open rally. Like in terms of counter looping, I'm looking a lot of times to step around and use my forehand from the backhand side when I'm off the table. Yeah, I've been focusing more on my backhand because typically like that's how the sport is going right now. Everyone's banana flipping and playing backhand counter loop. So I definitely need to continue working on my backhand. But yeah, I think as of right now, I'm a more forehand dominant player.
Okay. What is it? To me, I feel that the forehand is a more. I don't know. It's an easier stroke to learn.
Yeah, I think most of the coaches, especially in their generation, it was like basically all forehand. Backhand was more like blocking and control and some tempo change, but most of the finishing shots were with forehand. So I feel that a lot of players they were taught the way like, oh, full table forehand. Yeah, now especially because the game is so fast and the backhand can be like a smaller stroke. I feel that more players are now staying closer to the table and playing backhand instead of stepping around with forehand. But yeah, I feel for most players because they've been practicing forehand ever since they were like young, and most of them learn how to loop first with forehand, then with backhand. For most players, they choose to be forehand dominant, but there's still some exceptions where some players prefer backhand and they're ripping more with backhand than forehand.
Okay. And last question before we get started with Nandan here. YouTuber who you would like to play ping pong with.
Oh, that's a good question.
And if you need some time, you
Um,
can think about it.
yeah, give me 1 minute.
All right. Let me get with Nandan then while you think about that. And yeah, same thing. Okay, Nandan, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, Nandan. How old are you?
I'm 16 years old.
Six. Do you have your driver's license yet?
No, I should though. I should have gotten it a while back,
Well,
but not yet.
you don't have to do anything, Nandan. You do whatever you want to do. How long have you been playing ping pong now?
Around 10 years since I was like around 5 or 6.
So you guys pretty much got started at the same time, just at different ages,
Yeah.
obviously. Okay.
Yeah, very similar timing.
And what's your current paddle setup?
I play all butterfly. I use Super Viscaria ALC and I use Dignix 09C on both sides.
Okay, I know a few people with a similar setup. I'm using a Viscaria myself, which I think is too fast for me. But yeah, why did you choose the Super ALC setup with the Dignix on both sides?
I feel like this setup it's like meant for my style. The counter loop on it is like amazing. I feel like it's very comfortable to counter loop, and my game kind of revolves around that. So that's one of the main keys as to why I chose it.
Have you ever played with your brother's setup?
I have not. I've tried it a few times, but I prefer mine.
Okay. Oh, I'm sure you prefer yours. I'm just wondering if you'd be
Yeah.
willing to talk some garbage on the Yola setup, but I don't know. Okay. All right. And Nandan, YouTuber who you'd like to play ping pong with.
I think I would like to play with Adam Barbaro in one of his YouTube videos.
All right. Okay. Adam, if you're listening to this, let's see if we can make that happen. Okay. And Sid, did you figure out which YouTuber you'd like to play with?
Yeah, I think it would have to be Otto from Pongfinity.
Ooh.
I played Mika O'Connor from Pongfinity in Germany. Actually, we were playing in the same league in Germany, so and it was a good match. So I'd like to also play Otto. I think it would be cool playing him.
I've heard Otto is actually a very disgusting player, like extremely high level.
Yeah, yeah, I can tell. Just I've seen just a few clips of him playing seriously, but like his serve and like his over the table game seems since he's so tall, he's super tricky over there. Obviously, his power. So yeah, I think it would be interesting. But yeah, I'd like to play him.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for all that, the good introductions, and the yeah. Let's get into the games here. So we'll start here at game one, and then just go. Can you guys see the game?
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. Okay. So let me ask you this: what are you guys thinking? I mean, I'm sure you guys have played each other a million times here. Like, how do you guys strategize when you first start?
I mean, when I play Sid, I don't strategize as much. It's more like keeping mentally focused because we know each other really well. Like it always changes, but we can like adjust pretty fast.
Got it.
So I was just trying to be like very calm and like think about everything that I was doing, not letting him get ahead at the start.
Does the venue or the event make a difference to you in like as far as I play Sid all the time or I play Nandan all the time, but now it's more meaningful here at the U.S. Nationals. Does it
Yeah,
make okay?
this one I felt a lot of pressure because I really wanted to go far, and especially in men's. Yeah, this one was pretty big.
And there's Sid's first Cho, I think, which everybody who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of choing. I noticed Sid, you do a lot more like yelling, and then Nandan seems to do a lot more talking, self-talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think more recently I've started like yeah, showing a little bit more. I felt that in the past maybe I wasn't as positive as I am now. Wasn't getting hyped up enough. I wasn't moving my feet. I wasn't as active, and I feel like that's like partly mental, but I feel like showing itself, just like that kind of the biochemistry behind it, kind of helps me get into that zone of fighting and like making sure that I'm like completely focused in. So I feel sometimes even if it's like forced, like sometimes it's just completely natural. After I win a point, I just scream and I don't even think about it. But sometimes like I force myself to, and I feel that it might be a little bit annoying, but at the same time, I feel it helps me find a like kind of get into that zone.
Yeah, I used to chill a lot when I was, especially when I was younger, but like recently I stopped because I felt like, especially if it's forced, it disrupts your tempo. Like for me, especially when I start off very aggressive and I start showing, I can't keep the same level of focus. Like everything feels kind of disoriented. So I stopped for the time being, at least, not as much.
Okay, but you're making a conscious effort to do that.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just not in shape, so if I chow too much, I'm just winded. you know. But yeah, for me, it also puts me in that kind of fighting spirit. And what I noticed is for some players, I don't know what it is, but I think the crowd gets behind them too when they're a little bit more vocal. And at least personally, I typically cheer
Mhm.
more when the other person is cheering for themselves. So little
Mm,
bit of
yeah.
them
Yeah,
helping themselves and helping me cheer for them too as well.
yeah, I agree. I think it's always easier to cheer for somebody who's already has a lot of energy, and it's easy to give them more energy, especially like in a lot of the team matches. It's always more fun for me. Like if I'm on the bench or just watching, if my teammate is showing and I see he's like running around and has a lot of energy, it's obviously a lot easier for me to support him and yeah, like celebrate with him.
Which, by the way, when I did watch you guys at the Pan Am tournament, man, US team is really loud. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are
That's
really
right.
behind each other. Some of the other teams, not so
We-
much, but
Yeah, we were bringing a lot of energy.
love it.
Home
Love
country and everything.
it. And you guys did perform really well there. I forgot, where did you guys place in the Pan Ams?
For
So
teams, we won gold.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so we qualified for World Youth Championships. That's in Slovenia at the end of the year.
Whew.
So it'll be a really fun event.
Does your training change now that you've qualified for Slovenia versus, like, let's say if you didn't?
on my part, it doesn't change so much because after adult Pan Am Championships, I was planning to go to Germany, and yeah, the plan still stays the same. Yeah, I think that maybe the only thing that might change is we might have another training camp before, because normally we have a training camp before all the big events like Pan Am Youth Championships, like adult Pan Am Championships, Pan Am Games, things like that. So maybe we have a 1 week training camp where we all train together. But I think other than that, my training schedule or plan looks relatively the same.
Okay, so consistency is key here. Nandan, were you going to say something, or do I have that wrong?
For me, it doesn't. It also doesn't change that much. The only thing that might change is that I'm gonna be probably playing a tournament in Portugal right before that as like a connection. So that'll
Okay.
be pretty fun.
Man, it's nonstop for you guys. I think that's the one thing about
Yeah.
American table tennis is you have to be
Yeah.
young to handle all this traveling and constant
Yeah.
playing.
But that's the fun part of it, I think. All the travel and the tournaments and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I like to enjoy.
I mean, the food's got to be nice. Actually, I noticed in this match between every game, Nandan, you were eating. I don't know what you were eating, but you were eating some bag of chips, I think.
No, it was dried mango, and I always eat it during my matches. It's like the comfort thing in between. Like, I don't know, I'm always very hungry during a match. I can feel it, like start like shaking when it's close. If I'm hungry during a match, I always make sure to like keep eating, like especially dried mango.
That's what I'm talking about. These high-level athletes, I mean, there's like Kobe Bryant, there's Sid Naresh, and there's Nandan Naresh, just very in tune with their bodies. I did want to talk about something, though. At the U.S. national trials that took place, I think, at 888. Let's see, Nandan, I caught your game with Michelle Levinsky. And there's a little bit of a dramatic finish there. You want to talk about that at all?
I mean, I guess we were just both fighting. Yeah,
You don't have
I
to
guess.
say anything, but did he flick you off? I couldn't quite tell because it was a kind of a YouTube stream kind of thing.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just a misunderstanding. Like,
Okay.
he played fair, he played well, but I don't know.
Okay.
It was an interesting match.
Yeah. Did you go back and watch that one at all?
Yeah, I have.
Because I think that was honestly the first time that I've seen you play in a match. And I heard you saying things like, so spinny. And I hear you doing it again in this match. And I'm like, dude, I really like that. I freaking love that. Can you tell me the motivation behind that?
I was doing that the whole tournament, honestly, like especially in 888. Now, not as much, but it helps me kind of relax, like especially in like high pressure moments. It makes it feel more like a game instead of like a high pressure match.
Okay.
So,
Ah.
yeah, whenever I'm like that, I feel so relaxed, and like you can tell.
Sid, when your brother is doing things like that, I mean, did he always do that? Did Nandan always do that, Sid?
No, I think he was showing more before when we played, but yeah, more recently, like I think the talking is more recent development. I think in the past few months, I think the most I heard it was at the national team trials, and then some of the tournaments we were playing in Europe in June. I heard it like a few times, but yeah, it's like an occasional thing that he does. But yeah, it's more recent.
Man,
Yeah.
I like the breakout of new technology. I don't know how it affects your opponents, but after I saw that, I went to the club and I started saying things like, "Oh, that's a good serve." After I hit something and someone it was kind of inspiring, and it made other people laugh and maybe threw them off their games too. So I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is good. I like that."
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like it helps, especially like when I'm like nervous about a match. It can help.
What match have you been the most nervous in?
Ooh, this one was very recent. It was when I was playing Sid. My goal this year, okay, I'll give a little bit of a backstory for this. My goal this year was to qualify for singles in World Youth Championships. And to do that, you have to place top 2 at Pan Am Championships. which was a few weeks back, as you know.
Mhm.
And I played Sid in the semifinals. So that was the match to qualify, and I was extremely nervous about that.
Oh yeah, that's I mean, if that's your yearly goal, then and you have to go through your
Yeah,
brother too again, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
that's rough. So
yeah.
Sid, you let him win then to help
Not
him realize his
exactly.
dreams. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, let's put it like that.
Very good, very good. Man, what a
But
good
yeah,
older
he played all
brother.
that. Yeah, but we're both going because we qualified as a team, so all four of us go. It's just that Nandan stays an extra few days to play singles, so
I
it's
see.
not like So yeah, we'll still be there with him. But yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, cheering him on from the stands, I'm sure. I hope. And this is in what country was it again? I'm sorry.
Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Slovenia. Have you been there before?
Never.
Never. Okay.
No, I've been to Slovakia. Yeah, we've been to
Yeah,
Slovakia, but I
Slovakia.
haven't been to Slovenia.
Okay, so you're going to a brand new country that you haven't been to.
Mm-hmm.
What are you even thinking as far as food? Is it just find
Mm,
the nearest McDonald's, find something familiar, or do you go out there and just try the local food?
Normally, like for these tournaments, you buy a hospitality package where like they take care of your food, like the bus to the venue and everything like that, like bus from airport, everything. So normally we just eat like the tournament food, and maybe like occasionally we'll like order something, Uber Eat something, or go outside to grab some food.
Ah, okay. That's how that works when you're a world class
Hmm.
athlete. Very nice.
Yeah, I always make sure to come prepped with like a lot of instant noodles because sometimes I don't like the food and I'm gonna need something like late night snack or something. So
Yeah, very healthy, guys. Sid, you told me that. Sid, you told me that Shin Ramyun was your favorite, and believe me, I'm still thinking of
Yeah,
ways to get
yeah,
you a sponsor, bro.
yeah. Yeah.
I forgot what Shin Ramen. Go ahead, plug it for us, Sid. Give us your best your Shin Ramen commercial.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sid Naresh, part of men's national team table tennis, and when I'm hungry, I love myself some Shin ramen.
Ooh, oh my God, I got the chills. Oh, that was beautiful. All right, Nandan, and do you have a preferred type of ramen as well?
I would probably say Shin also.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. Do you do the red package or the black package?
I do both.
Like, as in you mix them together? Because I've seen people do
Oh
that.
no no no.
Oh,
I do like well, it just depends on the day. But yeah, I don't mix them just like separately.
and are you guys throwing stuff in there, like, or do you just can you just go like in plain and like just get it out of the way?
If I'm at home or like I like to crack eggs in there, but
Yep.
if I don't, then I just plain.
I'm telling you, you're making the country of Korea very proud, you guys. Very good. That's awesome. Have you guys been to any of the East Asian countries yet? China, Korea, Japan, India?
I've been to
Like,
China.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, China and India.
Oh, you've been to India. Okay, very good. I
Yeah,
don't know why that's
twice.
so shocking to me, but no. Okay, so here's the thing. I've noticed, and I didn't know this, but at the highest levels of table tennis here in the States, it seems to be almost dominated by Indian Americans. Do you feel that any sense of pride in that, or that you're representing Indian Americans at all, or are you even Indian
Yeah.
American? Am I just being
Yeah.
ignorant here?
No, no, no. Yeah, we are. We
Okay,
are
all
Indian
right, thanks.
American.
Because
But yeah.
that could have been really bad if you weren't.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we do feel some pride in representing, yeah, all the other kids that are also like Indian American and playing table tennis.
Oh, I'm sure, because there's got to be a lot of people that are looking. Oh, look at those brothers. Look at them play. I want to play like that, or I can play like that.
I think the Indian American community in table tennis is quite big, and like yeah, they're a very like loving community. I feel like whenever I go to nationals or any of the big U.S. tournaments, like either some kids or parents come up to me to congratulate me and stuff, and I feel like yeah, that's very inspiring and motivating. Yeah, I have a lot of pride in being Indian American table tennis player.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Do you ever get recognized anywhere outside, I guess? Have you ever been like at a Starbucks and someone like, hey, aren't you that guy from the Ellen show? Or aren't you has that ever happened to you yet?
No, not outside of the table tennis community. Like usually it'll be even if it isn't a public place, it'll be someone who has some connection to table tennis. It's not really like and yeah, it doesn't happen so often in like completely random places like at a mall or a Starbucks. But
Do you think it
yeah.
happens more to maybe some of your peers that play in Germany? Does that ever happen? Just to get a comparison of the popularity or how common the sports are in our respective countries.
I think especially because they have like a really good league system
Hmm.
there. Some of my friends who are playing like first league, like Bundesliga there, like after matches and stuff, they'll have fans coming up for like signatures, and I'm not sure if they get recognized so much as like on the street or like in a shopping mall or groceries, but yeah, definitely when they're playing their matches, a lot of people come out to support, especially home matches. Yeah, they have like 300, 400 people, and all the kids after they want to go get signatures or photos. So yeah, I think popularity wise, it's probably more popular in Germany, but at least I haven't seen any instances where they were recognized just completely randomly in public. But I'm not with them the whole time either, so
I
maybe
see.
they have been.
And you're probably still taking courses to make sure you're getting your academics done while you're out there.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Oh,
Like
yeah,
I did
you
some
hire someone to
online.
do your tests. Okay.
No, but actually, I'm not in school at all right now. So I'm doing like some online courses like through Coursera, but right now, I'm just like fully focusing on table tennis. So especially when playing these tournaments, I feel that it's definitely easier because normally I like if I have a match at 9, I would get there like 7:15 to go warm up for an hour and then check in my paddle and stuff. So like starting from the 7, and then if I have more matches throughout the day, I usually come back like 6, 7 p.m. just eat, maybe do some stretching and then go to bed. So especially during the tournaments, like we were playing a lot in Europe in June and also more recently in West Virginia. So during the tournaments, I feel that yeah, I don't have so much time. During the training, like during the regular season when I'm just training, I do some like small like online courses, but nothing official or major.
What's the booster rule like in Germany? 100% illegal, or is it like over here where it's like, people kind of look the other way? I'm not sure how it is at your level.
Most players are using like legal booster,
Okay.
and as long as the thing isn't too much, which usually it's not, then it's okay. So yeah, but yeah, I feel boosting culture might be actually a little bit more in Europe. I feel it's very common for players to like, especially because a lot of Europeans go back from the table or like trying to play a lot of big counter looping rallies. They enjoy boosting their rackets. It gives them a little bit more power.
All right, well, Sid just explained it to us, guys. That's why the Europeans are so much better than us. The boost. Multiple layers of boost, guys. All right, go USA. Yeah, we're in Game 7 here. I know this must have been extremely pivotal for you guys. Do you remember your thoughts or what you're feeling in Game 7?
I was so scared because it was like 3-2, 10-8 for me,
Mm-hmm.
and
You
like
remember.
I remember he was fighting so hard,
Yep.
and like I missed a few easy balls. He hit like 2 crazy counter loops, and like I was really scared. But I started off pretty well, so I was happy with that. And then I think I got a pretty big lead here.
The power of momentum. Yeah, Game 7. But, of course, we're coming on to that one point where, and in the comments, if you read them,
Yeah.
there's people
yeah,
going
yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth about this.
Uh-huh.
I have my own opinions, too, as well.
I still believe it's side.
All right, Sid.
Yeah.
As we're coming up to that point, what are your thoughts about Game 7 as a whole? And then we'll get into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to win Game 6 to kind of come back and save that. I was yeah, so I was pretty excited going into Game 7. I was hyped up, but yeah, I think I ended up playing a little bit too passive and like waiting for him to make a mistake, which he didn't. And yeah, I think overall I played pretty well even in Game 7, but he was just playing some good shots, and yeah, I was a little bit too passive.
Got it.
And yeah, I think I still believe that that ball was edge, especially like from where I hit it and what I saw. Like at that moment, I was like, "Oh, that's definitely edge." And like I tried to talk to him a little bit, like, "Oh, I was inside the," I was like, "definitely inside the table." And yeah, once I already flipped the scorecard, I was like, "Okay, there's like, yeah, that's match." So I didn't want to make
But
like a huge
here,
about it.
my argument is that like, okay, his body is inside the table, but his racket is outside of his body. So like, you can see. Okay, okay. Can we go back?
Yeah, we'll go back. We'll go back.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
So he's hitting outside of his body there, and it goes straight down, I think.
But I feel it was just like a slight skim. I don't know.
I believe there was a bit of top spin. Don't kill me, but I believe there's a little bit of a top spin, but I believe the trajectory went straight down. Yeah, that was my thoughts about it. I thought it was unfortunate that it had to end this way to such a great match.
Yeah.
you know. But then I was like, oh, I hope they just really start fighting, but you didn't. So that would have been better for the views. But yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it was not a great ending.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wants to win like that, right? Like we saw what's his name, Alexi LeBron beat Fan Zhendong on like an edge ball or something, and even he, you know, he had to hold that back. But you know, yeah, he did it really well. Okay, I guess that's pretty much it for now. Do you guys have any parting words? What your thoughts are about the future of table tennis and maybe your goals for the future?
Well, I mean, right now we just have a ton of tournaments coming up, and we want to perform as best as we can. And I guess that'll just lead us into more and more stuff, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, good luck. Sid, any parting words?
Yeah, I think that the future of table tennis in the U.S. is looking bright. There's a lot of good juniors, and I think that the training system that we have right now is good. There's always more work to do, but I'm excited. And yeah, my own goals coming up, like the big Pan Am Adult Championships. So I think that's like the biggest one right now. But I'm really excited to be able to take part in that and travel and compete. It's like really what I love the most. So I'm very excited. And yeah, looking forward to these upcoming weeks.
And when and where can you remind us where the Adult Pan Am Championships are going to be?
It's in Havana, Cuba from September 10th to 17th.
Cuba! Okay, I think they say Arriba or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Arriba.
Like, yeah, let's go. Okay. By the way, you guys are much more traveled than me, but all right, everybody. That's our show for today. I want to thank Sid and Nandan for coming onto my little YouTube channel when they've been featured in so many bigger and brighter things than this. I really enjoyed the conversation. I'm going to be rooting for them from now on, from here going forward. They are absolutely wonderful guests and wonderful players as well. So thank you to them, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye, Sid. Bye, Nandan.